Welcome, everybody, to the Conversations in Ken's Cafe. We have a very special guest with us, the VP of Corporate Development for both Canadian Cannabis Exchange and Global Cannabis Exchange, Erin Butler. Thanks for coming on, Erin.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Ken. This is great.
Well, I
Yeah.
really think that more people need to understand that there are more options than just selling into the stores. There's a very good opportunity to move product very well through you guys. So, Erin, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you're a prairie girl.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about how you got into cannabis in the first place, actually.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've always been, thought, legalization, loved the whole process of it and watching it sort of from afar. Really was excited when I saw that happen. My background prior to getting involved was in sort of the engineering and construction space. I worked in the finance area there and sort of mergers and acquisitions. So, a very different market. And then
Mm,
Steve Clark, our CEO, connected with me here in Calgary and sort of explained to me what they were building at the Canadian Cannabis Exchange. They had, launched in 2020, and I joined them in 2021 and helped, just working to expand the business overall, working with, Steve there and Leaf, our VP of operations.
cool.
Just working to, expand wholesale cannabis in Canada. And so, definitely learned a lot in my first 6 months in terms of,
Yeah.
how the industry works with all of the different provincial bodies, what the wholesale market really looks like across
Mhm.
Canada. And, it continues to change daily now as we look into the international markets. And so, it's
Yeah.
definitely very exciting.
Well, so they basically came down, he headhunted you because you're so good at this. Okay, so that's what it really happened. He's like, that's the girl I need doing this job. So that's fantastic, and we really appreciate your perspective because you didn't come from the cannabis industry. Are there any really overlapping ideals or ideas that you brought to the table?
Yeah, I mean, I think really it's about looking at different business strategies. And I think that that's, our service as a wholesale exchange allows a lot of opportunity for different businesses to
Mhm.
excel. And so for us, it's really looking at how can we service a wide range of LPs, connect into their business, and how can we help them to be profitable and grow. And that was really the work that I did with the engineering companies as well, looking at different business strategies, looking at different markets, what makes the most sense, how can you enter those markets, where can you find margin and be successful. So, yeah.
Well, and it's not just for you guys as the company, but it's for your clients as well, and on both ends of the spectrum, because you're offering not just sales, but you're offering a platform like I don't think there's really much else out there like this. So, can you explain your platform a little bit?
Yeah, so we're a wholesale trading exchange for flower, extracts, genetics. And really, what that means is that it's a transparent and liquid screen. So
Mhm.
everything's anonymous, but you get to see all current pricing. You get to see all bids and offers live on the screen. You get to see where everything gets settled. And what that really helps to do is create uh, transparency for businesses as they plan. They're not sort of hearing anecdotally, well, so and so got X price and I heard
Yeah.
this price. It's, these are real live settled prices. We're doing, hundreds of transactions a month. And so it really allows businesses to understand what their product in the current market can really be valued at, where to position it, all of those types of things. So all of our clients, it's free to join, which is great. So it's sort of a free option. Come on
Mhm.
board. You can list product. We're non-exclusive, so you can list product, and sell through other wholesale channels, or obviously sell your SKUs into the retail channels. All of those types of things. But it allows you access to hundreds of buyers just by uploading your product. We allow COAs, photos, videos,
Mhm.
all of those types of things. But the really great thing is we've got brokers that also work with you, and you've got a specialized broker that gets works on your case and client specifically, so you get to really know your broker, and that broker can really work with you to try and understand the market if you've got questions about where things are going, or what is the best opportunity for your product, or if you're looking to buy product, what makes sense for what you're looking to do. So they kind of act as like mini consultants for our clients, which I think is really great. And it's
I think that's fabulous because you have a personal consultant there, helping you along to make the best choices for your particular business, whether you're buying or selling. Now
yep.
you're selling, flower extracts, etc. Um, what is the actual variety of things that people could say buy from uh, the people making it? Like there's different distillates, etc., that
hmm
the cannabis plant offers. Are you offering any of the medical, crystallization more for medical side?
Yeah, so there's a whole range of extracts on screen. There's also the ability to like offer services too. So if you know that you have the ability to produce product, you can also
Cool.
forward list. So we've got diamonds and resin, shatter, all whole range of different distillate and isolate on screen. We also have CBG, CBN, those sort of kind of new and up and coming extracts. We also have those specific types of flower on screen.
Yeah.
But the great thing is if we've got a buyer looking for something really specific, that's sort of where the broker steps in. And if it isn't on screen, we can go to any of the hundreds of extractors that we have in our client roster, and can dig into them and kind of go, is this something you guys are doing yet, or have you done it in the past?
Yeah.
How much would you have to make, that kind of thing. So yeah, there's tons of flexibility.
Well, I like that you can actually connect the businesses together and go, look, I've got somebody that wants this. You can make it. Let's get together and help everybody. And it's caring, sharing, community is something that we really preach on this channel. And in what you guys are doing and how you're doing it, you're creating a community that works together. So, how far reaching globally are you looking into? Like, I know you're into a lot of Australia, etc.
hmm
How broad are you guys looking for?
Yeah, for buyers, definitely our largest buyers are coming from Israel, Australia, Germany, and Portugal right now. Those are sort of the biggest markets, but, we're exploring any legal market, Poland, Czech Republic.
Cool.
We're working with growers too in other regions, as well as those, areas start to legalize as well. And then we're also just keeping our eye on markets as they get developed. Like the Thai market's very interesting. But there's a lot of changing regulation in that market. So we're just really trying to monitor some of the kind of newer legalized markets, and trying to understand where and how our services can fit within those
Yeah.
places. And yeah, looking at the UK as they slowly roll out their regulations, things like that. So yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. A lot of these countries, hopefully, in some things, will model after Canada, and in some things, I hope they don't model after Canada at all.
Yeah, I mean, there's always that hope that there's, a learning. But,
Mhm.
we are hearing of massively overbuilt facilities in Australia, kind of similar to what we have here in Canada. I think a lot of the sort of smaller companies are realizing they can buy really great Canadian product, via a platform like ours, through
Mhm.
us, and they get access to phenomenal, medium and small growers that are doing great GACP flower, that
Yeah.
can be upgraded to GMP flower, those types of things. And so they're kind of realizing, I don't need to build a huge facility. I can leverage existing cultivation that already exists. So I think some people are kind of watching what's happening in Canada and learning, but I think, yeah, some people are still, yeah, and then those markets will also change depending on, yeah, how they regulate. If they do
Yeah.
go recreational and adult use, what does that actually look like? And yeah, there's a ton of unknowns for sure.
Hell, we're still trying to figure that out here. Okay. And the US
Yeah.
is trying to figure it out too.
Oh,
Are you
yeah.
guys? able to do much into the US back and forth, or
Not for flower, but we are doing equipment. So we do a lot of
equipment?
new and used equipment. So, a bucker, extraction equipment, those types of things. So we definitely are doing used equipment for buyers right now in sort of the East Coast of the US that are looking for, from facilities that are maybe not utilizing some of their equipment, those types of things. And then we also have distributor agreements with American equipment manufacturers, and we bring some of that equipment
Cool.
up to Canada. So we do it more on that side. Again, we kind of look at the U.S. as they haven't quite solidified where and how their regulation is going to kind of pan out. So we're continuing to watch that market and try and understand
Yeah.
it, and
I'm
hopefully,
trying to get what's called fish brew brought into Canada, and the regulations are just foolish. It's fertilizer, right? And
yeah.
it's just nuts, you know. But that's on our side, okay?
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, also we find as soon as you have cannabis related to your name in any kind of way,
Yeah,
everything becomes a lot more difficult. Things become, a lot more sticky. And so,
yeah,
the US in general, without sort of the Safe Banking Act in place, things like that, it continues to be a pretty challenging market. But I think that that opens up a ton of opportunity for Canadian growers
true.
right now.
Yeah,
Their delay in federal legalization is a huge strength, I think, for Canadian growers to really try and position themselves in the global market.
yeah.
If they were to federally legalize tomorrow, the market would be flooded in insane ways. And so I do think we've kind of been giving a bit of a gap here, and we're seeing it happen where we're seeing great growers in Canada export into major new medical markets, which I think is really exciting for our industry.
Oh, I know it's exciting because, it's if we can get into them on the medical side and show them what quality, if hopefully it is quality that's
Hmm.
being bought, there's a big difference between, living soil stuff and
Hmm.
hydroponic stuff and, what aquaponics. There's so many different ways to grow cannabis, and each have their good and their bad. Um, are you seeing premiums for certain things?
So definitely for craft grown, hand trimmed, hang dried product of
Mhm,
with strain varieties. So that's, I'd say, sort of the new thing we've been hearing in the past few months from some of these medical markets is that
mhm.
they want new strains, they want different strains. So typically they've been kind of getting, some larger, more standard product out of some of the larger LPs. And so now I think as the markets mature over there, buyers are going, okay, well, what else is there out there and what is good, and kind of learning more about the flower. And so we're definitely seeing a demand for higher higher potency is also a piece in there, but
Mhm.
whether that means that the flower is better or not, that's tough to say. But there is a demand
Well,
in those markets
there's
for high
the medical
THC. Yeah,
side, and then there's the rec side. Yeah,
yeah,
I just wanna get high, and then there's,
yeah,
"Oh, man, I hurt so freaking bad,"
yeah.
but yeah. And I think that, if we look at the cigar business from years ago, um, that's the kind of thing that we wanna promote is, the Canada is the Cuban cigars, the best
Exactly.
of the best,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, and I mean, we see it in the cattle industry. I mean, Canadian beef, Alberta beef is worldwide known. I
Yeah,
know also our pork is, some of the best in the world, and we do a ton of exports into Korea and Japan, and it's really,
yeah,
branding, but it's true. The quality is wonderful. We've got, a great country for growing. We've got very industrious people. We've got great, standards and regulations, so people trust the
yeah.
product as well. I mean, particularly in medical markets, and that's where I'd love to see more support from our federal government in really supporting that brand internationally, working with us to help build that brand internationally and really cement us as the global leaders in cannabis.
Yeah, and I
Mhm.
think that's something that's really important, but so Silly Lily did have a question, is there a minimum maximum requirement?
For THC, I'm assuming.
I would assume for who you can buy and like the minimum you can buy. Like, can I buy an
Oh, on
ounce?
this platform, yeah.
Yeah.
So you just have to be a Health Canada regulated facility. So you have to have a Health Canada license and a CRA license, and then we don't really set minimums. Um, sometimes clients will set minimums, so they'll say, "Okay,
Hmm.
I'm not willing to sell under 20 kgs of this flower." But we have people that they'll say, "Hey, I've got a 5 kg lot of some smalls," and they'll post it on screen and we'll facilitate that movement for sure. So domestically, we definitely, there's no real limitation on size. We also love helping to support micros. And oftentimes, yeah, those lots tend to be smaller.
Yeah.
They may have some, product that didn't make it into a SKU. And so if we can help that find a home, we're super excited to do that. Internationally, the minimums are definitely, it's more just the effort of going through all of the import export documents for buyers. They generally
Yeah.
are looking at, yeah, 25 kgs and over. But domestically, yeah, we'll sort of, if somebody wants to try and list something, we're always happy to try and find a home for them.
Well, exactly, because it's us little guys that generally need the help sometimes. To, hey, I got to make my bills here. Yeah, I got this lot here.
Yeah. Well, and also it's sometimes people don't really realize, oh, I've got this stuff in my vault, or there's trim,
Yeah.
keef, all sorts of stuff. If we really want to make sure that product isn't going there, just sitting in vaults, going unused, and
Yeah.
not sold, hopefully we can bring some cash into that facility. It's also a great way if you've got maybe a small leftover amount of a lot and you can list it, and maybe a larger buyer goes, oh, I actually really liked that, could you now contract grow that strain for me again? Those types of
Yeah.
things. So you also never really know where any kind of opportunity like that could end up. And so we've definitely seen that, and we've got really great buyers that value, quality growing and will forward purchase product, and we definitely see premiums for that for sure.
Well, yeah, you're custom growing for me. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'll give you a good price because that was some really good stuff, man. I
Yeah.
want more.
Well, and they want it consistent, and they
Yes.
also
Yeah.
realize, I mean, that and if you want that grower to be around in 6 months, a year,
Yeah.
or 2 years time, you need to pay them a price that can help to sustain their business for sure. So,
Well, yeah, I want to see all the micros survive in this country because it's those craft, it's like the craft beer,
mhm.
it's
Yep.
always a nicer beer when you go to the guy that actually made it than the big box stores. So,
Yep.
you know, I'm just glad you guys are doing this for the smaller growers now. Um, so I'm a grower. I have 25 kgs. I come in, I list it. Now, how does the process work? Can you step me or step us through that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we give you a demo of the platform, ask you lots of great questions about your business. What have you grown in the past? What are you planning on growing in the future? Show you how to use the platform. Then you get sort of signed up with one of our brokers. They have a kickoff meeting with you, kind of go through some
Mhm.
of those same questions, but a bit more in detail, talk a bit more about pricing, where you'd want to list it. Do you have any forthcoming lots that you'd like to list as well? So you can list current lots with a COA, or you can also list forward lots out 6 months. So maybe you've got some, a wholesale deal for one grow, but not another. You can,
Mhm.
forward list that, and then the broker will work with you to get your COAs into the platform, kind of show you how to upload your product, set your
Yeah.
price, all of those types of things. And if you have any questions, yeah, we're there to help. Then the product gets approved by our BD specialist. Just has to make sure that everything looks good, the COA matches sort of what the information you've uploaded is, and it's just standard information, harvest date, price, terpene percentage from your COA, um, things like that, and you can add details in terms of bud sizing, anything like that. And then yeah, it gets listed, and then just if somebody bids on it, we let you know about that, and then our broker would come to you and say, okay, so they've bid this price, this is where I think they likely would come up to, can you come down, or maybe we could get them up on price, but are you willing to maybe be more flexible on payment terms, or do you want to hold at that price, because I think we actually have another buyer that's interested, and I think that they would actually come at the price that you've listed, sort of thing. So they really work
Mhm.
with you to understand, okay, what is the opportunity here, should you take this bid or not, or sort of
Yeah.
wait, those types of things. Yep. And then once a deal's complete, we send an order confirmation, we connect the two parties, and then we work to make sure that, yeah, the product is delivered on time. Our general payment terms are 50 down, 50 net 30. And yeah, just really work to make sure that, all parts of the contract have been upheld.
And that's good. And you guys are working with the shipping companies when, especially going overseas, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. So we have sort of some shipping companies that we like to work with, those types of things. Domestically,
Hmm.
it sort of comes down to, usually the buyer or the seller will have a preferred company that they work with, and
Okay.
that's sort of pretty easy. And then internationally, a lot of times buyers have preferred companies that they use, but we also have a couple that we can always recommend and we work with a lot. So yeah.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
So that walks us through my coming on as a grower. How about as a buyer? Is it the reverse, basically?
I mean, you can be a buyer and a seller. So you can list your product, maybe your one SKU of Mandarin cookies has done really well, but you've grown all the, you don't have any more to 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 put into your SKU, and so you need to buy more. So you can come on our screen and buy more of that, and maybe you've got a bit more of another strain that you hasn't done as well in the market as you thought, and you're looking to kind of move it into a different home. So you can be both a buyer and a seller. So you just come in,
Mhm.
you can make an open bid. So if you're looking for a really specific strain or THC percentage, you can list an open bid, or then you place a bid on any product that's on screen. So yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. You get access to all the listings, so you can see all the details, so you can buy and sell at the same time.
Now, as a buyer, do I get a consultant as well?
Yep, yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we sort of work with you on both sides. So we're going, okay, what do you have that you might want to list? But then also, how are you growing your business? Do you want to look at any potential product to backfill
Yeah.
SKUs? Or, are you looking, as a grower, maybe you're looking to expand into some extracts. Can we find some good product that might help you grow in that way, or those types of things? So that broker helps to facilitate you on sort of whatever you need.
Yeah.
On either side, and on the same side, if you're saying, hey, I've got equipment I want to sell, you can talk to them about that. Or if you're looking to purchase equipment, so that person is sort of your go-to kind of knowledge about everything. So yeah.
Well, and you guys have your fingers all over the place on so many different pulses in the industry, from equipment, flower, extracts. Say I was starting an extraction business. As long as I get the legal authorizations through the government, I can come onto your site, work with a broker, and say, okay, this is the stuff I'm looking for. Not even having an idea what prices are yet, even.
Yeah, so I mean, two things there. So we do have a monthly pricing report that we put out.
Hmm.
It's for purchase, so anybody can access that, and then that'll help you guide, like, okay, what's actually going on with prices, those types of things. We also, if you are sort of pre-licensed, you can also
Hmm.
gain access to the screen. Again, it's a small fee. If you're just pre-licensed, we do charge a fee for access to the screen. So if you're
Okay.
kind of interested in wanting to know, okay, what's going on, I want a bit more, granularity into the market, you can get access to the screen that way. And then in terms of equipment, it's actually a second standalone company and platform. It's
Okay.
called, yeah, so it's called Loud Lion Supply. So you can hop on there, register an account. If you are an LP and you're a CCX client, then you get preferred rates on certain things. But you can just explore all of the equipment that we have up there, whether
Now, can
you're
people
registered
find
or
that
not.
from? from this link, this CanadianCannabisX.com, is that a
It's
link there somewhere?
it is on the site, but it's loudlionsupply .com. Yeah.
You'll have to send me that or type
Okay,
it in the private chat,
great.
and I'll add it to the description of the
Yep.
show as well.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And so again, and that's, we've got a great Basil Kelly sort of manages all of our stuff on that end. And so if you're ever curious, we also get lists of products, of equipment sometimes that doesn't get listed. We sort of have spreadsheets of it. So
Mhm.
if anybody's ever interested, reach out, let us know what you're looking for, and we can try and hunt it down, or vice versa. If you've got equipment that you're not really using, let us know and we can always try and find a home for it for sure.
Well, and like Silly Lily says, what a great opportunity for growers to move product through your service.
Yeah, and I think the really great thing is, it's just it allows a transparency to know what's actually going on with price. It's a standard contract. Everybody signs the same contract. They're working underneath the same understanding. And then also what we've sort of done over the past few years is also weeded out, the people that aren't great to do business with. If somebody isn't
Mhm.
paying, we're not letting them buy those types of things. And so it really helps to keep people above board and doing good business because they know that if they want to continue to have access to the platform, to our services, they have to, work
Meet their
within.
obligations.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I feel like
Yeah.
that also really helps to build trust in the industry, which is really needed as well.
Yeah, it's not the old legacy market anymore. There's no going back to it, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and as things get tight and it's hard. Yeah, it's definitely hard out
Yeah.
there. So,
Yeah, there's too many people that aren't making it through what's happening, and that's globally. Um,
hmm
and a platform like yours is fantastic. And as soon as somebody is legal in let's say Guatemala, okay, then you can either sell in. How about buying from and bringing into Canada some of the products from around the world?
so legally, that's not really allowed right now. So
Okay,
you
we
can't
can sell
bring.
out, but we
We
can't
can
buy in.
sell out, but we can't buy in. It'll be interesting to see how long, as these markets mature. At some point, I would expect, and probably not in the near future, but in 5 to 10 years,
Hmm.
the cannabis industry is going to be part of those trade talks, right? In the same way that, Canada's restricted on our dairy exports because we restrict our dairy imports, those
Yeah.
types of things, right? And so it sort of becomes a bit of a tit for tat globally. So it'll be interesting to see when and if those become part of trade talks. But I think as all of these markets are so immature, they're just trying to figure out what even medical legalization looks like. Nobody's really
Mhm.
focused in that area quite yet. But right now, yeah, you can't bring international product into Canada, but we can, yeah, sell it outside. So that's great for us.
Now, at the very beginning, you had mentioned something we haven't talked about it yet. You guys are also doing genetics, etc., correct?
Yeah, so definitely if you want to buy seeds and clones, we've got lots of genetics providers and also LPs that will post, different genetics for sale. Or there's also we can internationally we see people kind of looking to buy the rights to some genetics, those types of things as well.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's definitely some of that. It's a smaller part of our business, but it's definitely something that we facilitate for sure.
Well, and that's good to know. So, say I'm a seed grower, I can actually put it on my seeds on your platform.
Yep. Yeah, seeds on our platform. The busiest months for us are sort of the first to the second quarter of the year for genetics. So definitely
Hmm.
if you're a genetics provider and you're looking to do that, get in touch with us here kind of by the end of the year, and then we can get all of your stuff uploaded. That sort of seems to be the period of time when we do, yeah, our most of our genetics work for sure.
Or just leave them up all year.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Yeah, or reach out to us now and we'll get you going for sure. So, Yeah.
Well, and there like because there's so many different ways to grow this plant and uses of this plant.
Mhm.
Um, I love that you guys are basically just letting it dictate where it needs to go by what she can offer to people, and I
Mhm.
think that's fantastic.
Yeah, and I think it offers a really great platform for Canadian growers internationally in that way that,
Hmm.
you can get more eyes on your product. We kind of can act as a bit of like a procurement slash sales arm for a lot of companies. And it's just an added service that, yeah, can add a ton of value. So, yeah.
And that's fantastic. Am I going glitchy on you, or was that just you going glitchy on me?
Oh, no, you look okay to me. Sorry.
Okay. Well, I actually had a power outage, and I'm like this. The guy's talking, right? And I'm like this, so like but I'm there for way too long because
Yeah.
my power went out and I was gone.
Oh, no.
Right? It's like and he was on his phone, so I couldn't even
Okay.
call him
Oh,
to tell
no.
him, yeah, I'll be right back. But oh yeah, anyway, sorry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, no.
Little
You're all
off
good. You
topic,
you haven't you haven't frozen for 10 minutes. You're good.
Okay, yeah, good, good.
Yeah.
So what else can you tell us about the business that really the smaller guy can get excited about?
Yeah, so I do think the opportunity to look at what GACP certification could look like for your business, I think is a huge opportunity for our small and medium sized growers. So, GACP is the sort of base certification that you need to access most of the medical markets. A lot of them need GMP or EU GMP or CS, that's for Israel. However, with a GACP certification, there's a lot of ways in which buyers can either dry toll or wet toll your product into EU GMP. So really, GMP is it starts at the drying portion, so
Mhm.
it's not the growing section. So that's really your GACP work. So I think connecting in, reach out to us or reach out to a GACP consultant to come into your facility and look at like what does that cost look like. We have huge demand for really like for good GACP product. Like I said, we've got buyers in Germany. They want new and different strains. When we kind of
Right.
show them our platform and the huge variety of strains that we have here in Canada, their eyes light up and they want that.
They start drooling. They
Yeah.
start drooling. I've heard of that, but I've never had
Yeah,
a chance to smoke it. Yeah, I want some.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So definitely I think and just looking to explore whether the international market makes sense for you. We also have a lot
Mhm.
of buyers here in Canada that are looking to buy GACP product and then they're packaging it here and exporting it. And so their contract buying from a lot of these GACP growers and what that for a smaller company where, taking on the risk of exporting dealing with insurance, all of those types of
Mhm.
things. It can also be an interesting option. So, I mean, definitely, I think if companies can export themselves, I think that's super exciting. But there's also we've got a ton of buyers here in Canada that will buy domestically from you at good prices for to enter into those markets. So, definitely reach out and talk to us and see, yeah, because they don't want large facility flower. They're looking for
Yeah.
that sort of medium to mid-size, and small kind of grower for sure. Because yeah, that's the good exciting stuff. So
Well, generally though, it's the small guys that are growing the best flower.
yeah. Well, and it's like small craft grown, yeah, any sort of
Mhm.
agricultural product, right?
Yeah.
It's different when it comes from a big farm versus a small farm but there's also demand for all of it. There's always going to be your
Yes.
sort of general cost purchaser, low cost buyer that's looking for, they're very price driven. And so there's always going to be a market for all of them. I think there's just definitely an opportunity here for us to brand Canadian product on an
Yeah.
international stage as that premium product, and get our growers that premium that they deserve that they're not currently getting here in Canada. So
So let me ask about your standards. Like, okay, I have some flour. It's this percentage. It's this water activity, etc. What are there any real standards to um, overall that people are looking for?
So it really, really varies. To my point about, there's a consumer range in Canada that's
Yeah.
huge. And so their buying habits vary. And so those different companies are going to be looking for very different things on our platform. So there's some companies that are looking, yeah, they just want a decent product at a good price, and they're not too concerned about a lot of sort of higher quality standards in the same way because they're very price driven. We really just allow the buyers to set those standards. So we definitely, yeah, have buyers that'll come in and they say, okay, I need, water percentage of a certain amount. And so then we'll kind
Hmm.
of go to a grower and say, okay, do you have the documentation for that? Can you get updated testing on that? Those types of things.
Yeah.
Similarly to doing like a full terpene profile on your flower. So some buyers really want to see that, those types of things. So it really just depends on what the buyer needs, but we see a whole range of requirements internationally. Those things change a little bit, but again, we still see the same things happening on an international scale, where some people are really just driven by a price point, and then other people that are driven in trying to sort of build a niche brand or market for themselves, with unique strains or things of that nature. So yeah, we essentially just have to have your product tested at a Canadian, Health Canada certified lab,
Yeah.
and then your product can be listed. So yeah.
And then it's everybody just, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, next.
Yeah, and so we do samples. So a lot of buyers will ask for samples prior, so we help to facilitate that. Definitely if they haven't worked with a grower before,
Hmm.
so we, get the sample over. So if you're coming on our screen and you're like, "Oh, like I'd like to know more about that." And yeah, we'll facilitate, a 5 or 10 gram sample, gets brought into your
Hmm.
facility within a couple of days, and then you can kind of, yeah, do whatever tests you need to do on that, see
Yeah.
the flower a bit closer, those types of things. So
Now, how does that work? If okay, I'm a buyer, I bought something from somebody on your platform, and it got to me. I had it tested, and the tests don't match up. Um, how does that work?
yeah, so for to buy product on our screen, it just has to be within Health Canada standards. So if it's out of Health Canada standards, then the product gets shipped back. We work to mediate that situation, maybe replace it with another lot, those types of
Yeah.
things. Some buyers will put certain quality agreements on flour. So, for example, in contract grow, if it's
Hmm.
in this percentage of THC, we'll pay this price. If it's within this band of THC, then it'll be this price. And so they kind of
Okay.
build in those parameters because, yeah, you don't
Hmm.
know when you're growing exactly what percentage that plant's going to come out. If you've been growing it for a while, you probably have a pretty good sense. But so
Hmm.
just to provide that sort of support for the buyer to know
Yeah.
that, okay, if it comes in really low, I'm covered. And then also similarly, so you don't need to retest the product. You can use the COA that exists on screen. If you do
Hmm.
want to do a retest, you can build that into sort of the quality agreement. Although most of our buyers don't retest because it's just an added expense on their
Yeah.
behalf, and you've got a COA from a Health Canada lab, and so you can just use and trust the tests that are online or on the platform. So
Okay. So if it, I bought this bud and it comes in moldy, and I'm looking at it going, okay, I got to return this. It's easy for you guys to make sure that happens.
yeah, yeah, so we work with the grower to be, like, why is the product moldy? They're often, okay, that's yeah, absolutely great. Let's take the product back. Okay, what else can we do to backfill it? Those types of things. So, it
Mhm.
happens.
Yep,
Sometimes bags don't get opened or things like that. So yeah, and most growers, right? They want a return. They're not
yeah.
trying to offload product sneakily
You
one
got
off.
rid of those ones already. You got rid of those
Yeah.
ones already, face
Yeah,
it.
yeah, and
Yeah,
so most times growers are like, "Okay, how can we could we use this lot?" Or, "Okay, we've got another grow coming, in 2 months." And so then the
yeah,
deal kinda put on hold until that one, those types of things. And that's really where the broker comes in to help and just sort of figure out what's the best solution, right?
yeah.
It's
What
never
works
great
best
when
for both of you guys, and we'll
yeah.
work in the middle here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. And it's never great when that happens, but it's a fact of dealing with the plant that we work with. And so yeah, we've
yeah.
just gotta kind of
I
find the
think
best solution.
in the old farming community from the prairies here is shit happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Deal with it,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
So, where do you guys think you're going to be going in the future? Like, as far as I'm concerned, from what you described, your future is very bright. But what are some of your goals and dreams and aspirations?
Yeah, so I mean, to set up other domestic screens similar to what we have here in Canada internationally
Hmm.
would be really exciting as we see adult use and those markets sort of mature. So that would be really exciting. Also, as we grow, and see more liquidity in our different indices. So we
Hmm.
index by THC percentage. Our platform and contract is set up as such that then we could eventually set futures and in the long term other financial contracts that use our indice as the underlying. So what that would
Okay.
mean for cannabis companies is that they could risk manage in a way that other commodity and agricultural industries do. So similar to what
Hmm.
you would see in the coffee, in coffee, and that there are coffee futures, and so you can sort of risk manage on that price for yourself and help to sort of stop the volatility within your business by using some of those financial instruments. So that's definitely a long term goal, and so it would be very exciting to see that, I think, in the industry for sure.
Well, and it's so prevalent in pretty much every other industry on this poor planet that it should just be a natural fit.
Yeah, yeah. And again, it's all about making the industry stronger, right? This is
Yeah,
why, exchanges exist in so many other markets, is because it helps to make the industry more healthy and help kind of go and build through, the down and upturns of, a volatile commodities market. So, yeah.
yeah. Well, and I think we're slowly starting to stabilize a lot of the market potential now. Um, can you give us a rough guess on today's pricing for a high THC? What was today's pricing going for?
Yeah, so I think we saw stuff transact around, $1.80, $2 on some higher THC product. Definitely stuff that's newer. We're seeing up around, the 2.80, $3 mark for
Okay.
forward contracts. But yes, for something that's sort of maybe 4 months old, yeah, 27% kind of thing, probably in that, yeah, $1.80, $2 mark.
Now, how about if somebody brought in something extraordinary, like something that's been hang drying for 6 months in a perfect humidity? Would you be able to find that connoisseur buyer for somebody?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely potential for sure. I think looking at their ability to replicate that,
Hmm.
over time, those types of things. So yeah, I mean, we definitely have buyers that are looking for really specific, unique strains that are much
Hmm.
higher quality, and are wanting that consistent grow for sure. Yeah.
So how about in the extract? Like that's basically the sweet, the creme de la creme of the flower. How about
Hmm.
the extracts? Are people trying to make temple balls and do enough volume where somebody would want to buy that from your guys' exchange?
A little bit. I would say that the extracts seem a bit more commoditized to us
Mhm.
than flour. I think it's difficult sometimes explaining to the consumer the differences in, high quality flour, let alone within the extract market. So
Yeah.
I think there's definitely some buyers out there for it. I wouldn't say that the market is large, at least on our screen. But
Okay.
I think also as buyers and the market matures, you're gonna see, yeah, a shift in a direction of a more sort of segmented understanding of some of those products. But I think a lot of them, yeah, are super new and buyers don't
Mhm.
really know what they are, and really, yeah, what
How
the
to use them.
how to use them and
Yeah.
understand them. So, but what I think is really exciting too in that space, though, is definitely like the new cannabinoids, and
Yeah.
seeing a lot of those different use cases come up. And yeah, really excited to see where the different cannabinoids go in the future for sure.
Well, CBN, CBG, you actually have in your platform people that are specifically looking for those,
Yeah,
and people
yeah,
that are looking. I want a terpene report, a
yeah.
cannabinoid report.
Yeah.
Yeah, those people want. They know what they want.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, and CBC too, we had
Mhm.
somebody, yeah, if you're a CBC extracts person, give us a call. We've got people looking.
There you go, guys. Anybody that watches this video, there's
Yeah,
obviously not enough being made. So there's a business opportunity for
yeah.
somebody that can do the job.
Yeah, exactly. So, and a lot of those extras, like they're really, yeah, they're challenging to make, and
Hmm.
those processes are newer, and so yeah, they're definitely in demand for sure.
So, do you have consultants for people as well? Have you tapped into that side? Like, say, Dr. Av Singh, for somebody that's in living
Hmm.
soils, he's a man, that has the knowledge.
Hmm.
Um, have you guys looked at helping growers with that kind of a service?
Yeah, it's not something that we've explored so far. Like, we'll definitely connect people. So
Hmm.
we love working with other people in the industry, and so if we hear of somebody that's working on something interesting, and we can kind of connect them, similar to different, international certifications, those types
Yeah.
of things. We'll definitely try and connect people. We don't offer any of those, yeah, specific kind of like, super technical grow services as of yet. But if somebody's sort of wondering, hey, do you know somebody that does XYZ, we can always yeah, then our network's pretty
Ask
broad.
around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's,
Yeah.
like you said, it's really about community, and we want to,
Yeah.
yeah, connect people, because then we want them to connect back to us. So yeah.
Well, yeah, like say Av goes into a facility, helps them with their living soil. They produce a beautiful product, and it comes right back into your facility, and you're happy, your buyer's happy, and everybody's making a good percentage.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And and we're sort of seeing that internationally for sure, where a lot of, you know, kind of the consultants doing that licensing piece kind of thing.
Hmm.
So we're connecting in with them and those types of things. So yeah, if you're interested in, hey, maybe I want to start building or growing in another jurisdiction, what would that look like? Those types of things. We're really well connected and with a lot of people that are doing, yeah, really interesting work outside of Canada as well. So,
And that's good to know because there's a lot of investment that can be made, in different areas, and smart investment is the
hmm,
best investment.
hmm,
Knowledge is power in a lot of
yeah,
instances.
yeah, absolutely. And that's why, I think for LPs, you sign up with us and, it's free. You get access to our monthly pricing report, which is
Yeah.
full of, a ton of analytics and data, showing you different pricing and, details on different strains. We put out a cultivar catalog last year. If anybody's interested, send me a note. And we kind of broke down all the different sort of terpenes, what sold the most, what were those prices.
Sweet.
Yeah, all those types of
Thank
things.
you.
So, yeah, I'll definitely shoot that over, and so we're always, because 'cause we've got a database of thousands and thousands and thousands of COAs, and so
Yeah.
we can kinda comb through them, compare that to our pricing data, different volume data, and try and kind of pull out different trends, and yeah, so
Mhm.
we're always just trying to find different ways to use our data as well, so.
And see, you wonder why your boss came and hired you, young lady. I mean, come on, okay?
Yeah, it's a good company though. We've got yeah, the whole team's amazing. It's really fun.
Mhm.
It's definitely very different than a lot of industries. And also I think just the people in this industry are amazing. Going to conferences, people are so, yeah, welcoming and want to share their knowledge with you, which I think is, yeah, really, really unique. When you look at a lot of our other industries around Canada, it's
Yeah.
definitely super unique. So it's exciting to be a part of for sure.
So are you guys going to be at, the Grow Up conference in Victoria?
Yeah, yeah. So definitely a couple of our brokers will be out there for sure.
Cool,
Yeah, we
cool.
love the Grow Up conference. We were worked really closely with the team here in the Edmonton one. We helped put out the Cannabis Cup 14 pack. I don't know if anybody was able to get their hands on that, but we thought that was a really, yeah, great project and a way to sort of highlight, yeah, the amazing growers we have here in Canada all in one place. So that was super fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, the Grow Up conference we think is great. Yeah, it's really grower focused, and again, that's sort of where we're sort of sitting every day. So yeah, it's nice.
Now, I haven't asked this question, but do you consume cannabis?
I do, yeah, yeah. I'm definitely a big drinks person. I love the drinks. I think it's, yeah, probably my bartending days in the past and
That's
those
where you
kinds of
learn to work
things.
numbers, okay?
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, and, yeah, yeah, do enjoy it quite a bit, and, yeah.
So what's your favorite strain, or do you I shouldn't actually ask that question. It's a stoner's question, but what do you enjoy?
So I would definitely say more of the sort of citrusy strains tend to be my preference, and I also like a more balanced mix, like a lower THC flower tends to be.
Mhm.
I love, like there's sort of more of like a social pre-roll kind of thing is sort of
Yeah,
where I'm at, as not like a huge user. I also just think, yeah, the way my body interacts with it,
yeah,
higher THC is not always my friend. So yeah, definitely a nice kind of
yeah,
mix in the 20 to 23%. I love for
yeah,
sure. So yeah, definitely, yeah, within the citrus strains, love those. But that's what was really cool about the 14 pack was kind of getting to taste so many of
yeah,
them kind of lined up one to one, almost like you would do in a wine tasting or something like
yeah,
that. And I'd never really gotten to do that type of, back to back kind of tasting and even just smelling the different ones. I was part of
yeah,
the team when we were packaging them here in Calgary and that, and sort of getting to smell the different ones and just the
yeah.
variety of it and then smoking it, and it was really cool. Yeah.
Silly Lily's, saying that she had a chocolate truffle, did me
Oh.
in. So do you do a lot of edibles, and is that something that's on your platform as well? Things like edibles?
Yeah, so we definitely have, edible makers that will list. I think was it last month? Yeah, we just did, yeah, a few couple 100,000 of them or something of that
Mhm.
nature. Yeah. So we definitely, if people have edibles to sell, and also just the service as well, if somebody's looking to, come up with a certain formulation, we can connect people with that. So yeah, we definitely have a lot of that. And yeah, I love a gummy as well. I think for me, it's the controlled dosage that I quite like. So,
Yeah,
and then also seeing sort of the mixed, yeah, some like a CBG, CBD gummy, those types of
Mhm.
things I think are nice as well. So definitely do some of those for sure.
Well, I should hook you up with Dave Dormer. He's down in Calgary. He's doing art events with a cannabis
Okay.
tent,
Okay.
so you can do learn how to do art and
Yep.
smoke weed.
Oh, amazing. There's a plant shop here in Calgary as well that does sort of like yeah, like weed yoga, and it's a similar
Cool.
sort of thing. And but yeah, I would love to get connected with him, and that sounds like a great time for sure.
And if you want to know cannabis history, like the where cannabis came from and
Hmm.
the language, how the language changed,
Yep.
he's actually going to be next Tuesday doing a 2-hour special,
Okay.
exactly on that. He actually used to work for CBC and
Oh,
I think
okay.
Global News.
Yeah. Okay. Neat.
Yeah, so he took his learning in reporting and he dug deep into how the language has changed
Oh,
from different regions of the
interesting.
world and how the plant moved and the language moved.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
fascinating. Yeah. Well, because yeah, I mean, there is, and yeah, being in a black market, the language does move in such a different way to then now in the legal market. So that, yeah, that would be very interesting.
Oh, and that and where did the term Mary Jane come from?
Yeah.
And all of
420.
those. Where did cannabis, the word
Yeah.
cannabis,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, how about the Greeks? How about the Romans called it
Hmm.
this and this?
Yeah.
And he takes us on that journey
Oh, cool.
of how the language, how the plant moved from over here to
Yep.
over here, and it was called this over here, but they couldn't pronounce that language, so they called it this.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
oh,
interesting.
fascinating! The guy's got it all in his mind. It's like holy shit, man. So yeah, he's
That's
doing a
really
2-hour
cool.
special
Okay.
next Tuesday.
Where is he doing that?
On this platform,
Okay.
on this channel, it's all about the biology channel.
Hey, amazing.
Um, yeah, he's doing a special.
Cool. Well, definitely
It,
check it out because yeah, that's yeah, love history and it's great if it's cannabis.
well, and I'll connect you with him afterwards as
Yeah.
well, because like as I said, he's doing these events in Calgary. So
Yeah,
he
yeah,
was the
yeah.
guy that, for Cannabis.
Oh, I think I might have met him briefly at the StratCan event, or maybe I just saw
Okay.
him speak. I think, yeah, maybe he was just
Well, I
on the
know he
panel.
spoke
Yeah.
at the Grow Up the first morning.
Yep.
Yeah, he spoke at the Grow Up the first morning, and then he had to go back to Calgary.
Okay. Yeah, he was definitely spoke at one of the StratCan event
Yeah.
here in in Calgary that David
Yep.
did. So yeah, no, that would be great to yeah learn more about what he's doing for sure.
Well, and it's knowledge, it's that community, it's caring and
Mhm.
sharing and helping everyone get through what the world is going through, and making ends meet, basically.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and yeah, trying to find different ways, I think, to connect in with consumers. And also, there's just so much knowledge. Like, my
Mhm.
knowledge based on working in the industry is so much different than I'd say the average person, right? When you're in the industry, you kind of just assume everybody is getting the
Knows.
same, right? It's
Yeah.
like that conversation and those types of things. And so when you step out of the industry, you're like, wow, okay, yeah, people still don't know a lot, right?
Yeah.
You're very
Yeah.
avid users, obviously, are very passionate and connected. But I think, yeah, there's still so much opportunity to connect in with consumers in such a yeah, wide range of ways of doing it. So I think what he's doing is really interesting for sure.
Yeah. Now, I have to bring this up, Marty. The service is currently unavailable. So I don't know if he's talking about your service. I would assume so.
Yeah, I don't know what that would be. Yeah, I'm not too sure. But, because yeah, but, yeah, if you go onto our platform, like onto the website,
Mhm.
yeah, you can definitely contact us at there, and we'll kinda go from there. And if it might be maybe an issue with the Loud Lion Supply website, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, it's hard to say, but as she said, Marty, just go onto the website and you'll
Yeah.
get connected. Right? Do you have people 24 hours a day monitoring like a chat function or?
No, it's just an info ad, so it just goes
Okay.
to our team. Yeah, we're a small team, and no, we trading is not 24 hours. We like to give our people a break sometimes, and
Sometimes I like that. Sometimes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, doing international work now, it's a bit things are the hours are expanding for sure,
The
but
time zones are
yeah,
wild.
wild,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. But yeah, trading is sort of 7 until 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And but yeah, shoot us a note at yeah, info at canadiancannabisx.com if you've got any questions. Or you can also, yeah, do it through the website. And yeah, it just comes to our team and we see them all. So
Yeah.
yeah.
He says it's working. Let's see. It wouldn't let me in the website, but it's working now. I probably had phone blowing up.
Okay.
Laughed my ass off. Thanks so much, Erin and Ken. You
Okay,
bet.
great. Amazing. I was like, I really hope the website's working. That would be bad if it wasn't.
Well, like that. It's lightning storm. It okay.
Exactly.
Hold. And
Exactly.
in
Yeah.
the industry, it would be. I was stoned and I missed it, man. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, come a long ways from that, but, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Erin, we are at an hour. Thank you so much for coming on. You're an amazing young lady, and you work for an amazing company. I'm glad your boss, did come down and get you to switch out of the what you were into and come in here because I think you guys are going to do a wonder for this industry.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thanks so much, Ken. Yeah, this was really great, and thank you so much for inviting me to have come on your podcast. This has been excellent, and yeah, if there's anybody ever has any questions, or yeah, I'll shoot you a bunch of our reports and things like that. And yeah,
Yeah.
looking forward to staying connected for sure.
Well, and the other part of the business, the parts and equipment, remember
Yes.
to send that to me, guys. That's going to be added into the description. So if you're looking for used equipment or anything else, phone them. Who
Yeah,
knows what they know or who they know.
it's true. It's true.
Okay, guys. Erin, if you want to stick around, I just got to do a quick shout out for shows for the rest of the week tomorrow.
Yep.
Andy Lopez. We actually have, um, oh Jesus H, and we just had him on Ron Harrington, Gold Hat Seeds, with Andy and myself tomorrow night. Then we have Luna and Alex challenging Andy because he's coming on their show. And then, of course, the OGs next week and the Soil Matters next week as well. So, peace out, everybody. You guys have a great night.